Let's go ahead and bring AJ on the line. What's going on, man?
What's up?
How's it going?
Doing pretty well. How's it going over there?
Trying to stay warm, man. Trying to stay warm. And I want to go in and thank you for being on the show this evening to kick off this show with me this evening. I truly appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate being on.
So, AJ, let's go ahead and begin. You are from Brainbuster Pro Wrestling, which is in the Florida area, I believe. Talk a little bit about Brainbuster Pro Wrestling and your involvement with them.
Yeah, so Brainbuster Pro Wrestling is it's a new wrestling company in South Florida. First show will be February 13th in Hollywood, Florida, close to Miami for anybody who doesn't know. That's the debut show for Brainbuster Pro. And I am wrestling on the show against Johnny Vandal. Many may know who he is. He's been on NXT. He's wrestled all over Florida as well. So I'll be on the show taking on Johnny Vandal. And for anybody who doesn't know, I found Johnny, 12 years ago, and took him under my wing. So this is kind of a 12 years in the making. We've battled before, but it's been a while, so should be pretty good.
That's awesome, man. Considering that the history you guys have had, that you guys have trained with each other, traveling on the road together, and now y'all about to face each other within the next week or two. The excitement is there for Brainbuster Pro Wrestling. Everybody go check that out. Show your support. Support your local wrestling companies near you. Check them out for sure. So, who are some of the other wrestlers in Brainbuster Pro Wrestling that people need to check out? That you would consider bubbling on the radar. Someone need to keep an eye on this year.
Well, I mean, Brainbuster for the first show. It's a stacked lineup. For Florida wrestling, you got Craig Classic. He's spent, I think, 6 or 7 years in Japan. He'll be facing Sean Prime, who is a hot up and comer down in South Florida. So he's a big guy. So they'll be going 1-on-1, and from what what I hear, there'll be some barbed wire and some tables and some other weapons as they're going full Japanese hardcore. So that should be pretty cool because that's something different that doesn't happen every day in South Florida wrestling. And then you got guys like you got the Dirty Blondes, who are tag team. They're from Florida as well. They're pretty exciting to watch. And if you really want to check it out, you got to go find Brainbuster Pro on Facebook and check out Brainbuster Pro Wrestling on Facebook. You can read about everybody. Look at all the promos that are up and all the cool stuff on the page.
Absolutely, and everybody, as he pointed out, Brainbuster Pro Wrestling is on Facebook. Make sure you like their page, and they'll keep you updated on the February 13th show and future shows. I'm reading the latest status, and you guys have announced that Blake Chadwick will be the official ring announcer for the Valentine Violence show on February the 13th. Blake Chadwick will be the official ring announcer. And we're going to talk more.
That's pretty exciting because Blake Chadwick is the ring announcer for Paragon Pro Wrestling out in Las Vegas. That's on TV that you can watch on TV. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool addition to the Brainbuster roster.
Absolutely, man. I heard good things about him, and he's definitely going to bring a lot of energy in that show on February the 13th. Now, as far as you is concerned, AJ, and I'll get back to more brain buster in a matter of moments, but I want to focus on you. What made you decide to get into the wrestling business? How did it all start off for you?
In 1998, I was a senior in high school, and somebody approached me and said, "Hey, you're really into wrestling?" Because I was really into wrestling. I mean, I went to every show, watched every pay-per-view, had pay-per-view parties. I was a huge fan, and when I got out of high school, I was still in high school, and this guy was like, "Hey, come down. I want to show you pro wrestling school. I think you should try it out. It's pretty cool." So I went down there and to Rusty Brooks, a School of Hard Knocks, down in South Florida. And I first day, I think there was like 12 or 13 of us that went first day. And by week 2, everybody had quit but me. I was the only one left. And I was wrestling before, fell in love with it more once I was actually in the ring and learned. And it all came natural to me. So that's how I started. And that was 16 years ago, and I'm still in today.
What do you think is the key to your longevity in 16 years of doing what you love to do? Do you think is it, not suffer too many injuries? Is it just, just good condition? Is it the passion? Like, what do you think is the key to your longevity of your career?
I mean, it is passion, but just like with anything, you get frustrated, you get tired of it, you get bored of it. I think just passion and constantly having to like reinvent yourself and reinvent things you do, so it doesn't get stale and boring. I think I've hated wrestling just as many times as I love wrestling, but there's nothing like going out in front of a crowd of people, especially like little kids, and seeing them and look at you like a superhero. I mean, there's nothing cooler than that. So that kind of drives you and keeps you going too.
It's awesome to hear, and as far as guys like you, that makes me appreciate you. As far as wrestlers are concerned, and I may have told a lot of wrestlers this over the course of 4 or 5 years that I've done this radio show, I've always considered wrestlers as some of the toughest athletes in all of sports, in all of form of entertainment. When you guys do what y'all do for a living, whether it's 1 show a week, 2 shows a week, whatever the case may be, you guys and girls put your bodies on the line so that you can entertain the consumers, the fans out there. And I just want you to know, as a fan, that I appreciate what you and Brainbuster Pro Wrestling and all the wrestlers, whether it's on the pro level or whether it's on any level, you guys and girls, just incredible athletes and tough men and women, and you guys give it all you have just to entertain us fans. So I want you to know, as a fan, thank you for you and your brothers and sisters in the wrestling community for what y'all do.
Oh, appreciate that. But, I mean, truth is, we have to thank you as a fan, because without fans, there is no wrestling shows. Fans are, like I said, that's what drives us. That's what keeps us going. So, thank you to all the fans out there as well, because without fans, there's no wrestling, there's no shows, there's no none of that drive and passion I was talking about. So, we can't run the show without the fans. So we appreciate the fans as well.
So in addition to the February 13th show, what are some other Brainbuster Pro Wrestling shows that people need to keep an eye on this year?
Well, right now, just the only date that's set is February 13th. That's the debut show. We're going to knock it out of the park. It's going to be a huge hit, and then, I'm sure by that day they'll have, the next show will be ready to be announced. It's not ready to be announced quite yet. They're just working out some details, some minor details. But once that all gets worked out, I'm sure in the next couple of weeks you'll hear about the next coming show. But like I said, this is the debut show, and it's going to be It's going to be hot. And if you live in Florida, you love wrestling, this is a chance to, I know it's not WWE. Everybody always says there's no John Cena or any of those guys, but it's a chance to come and spend way less than you would at a WWE event. It's a chance to be in an intimate setting, because indie wrestling is that. It's a closer environment, an intimate setting. You'll get to see action that's just as good or better than what you see on WWE TV, but you're going to be up close. You're going to be involved right there in the action. If you've never been to an indie wrestling show, this will be the one to come and check out. Just give it a try, give it a chance, and I guarantee you'll come back. You'll love it.
Well, you definitely convinced me, man, for sure. I wish I was in the Florida area so that I can check it out. But for those that are in the Florida area, go check it out February 13th. And especially all you fellas out there who are wrestling fans, it'll be a nice Valentine's Day gift to your girlfriend or your wife or fiance. Tell them to go to Brainbuster Pro Wrestling and check out some quality and indie pro wrestling in the Florida area. So yeah, it's definitely a good a consideration. Let's make it that a consideration for a gift for Valentine's Day weekend. So everyone in the Florida area, please check it out for sure. So let me ask you this, AJ. Considering that you've wrestled for 16 plus years, you've wrestled with a lot of guys, you've been on the road with a lot of people. Who are some workers out there on the indie scene that you haven't had a chance to work with, but would like to work with one day?
Honestly, there's nobody specific. I just like to work in different areas with different guys. It doesn't matter who to me. Being that I've been around for a while, to me, I'd rather work with the younger guys coming up to hopefully teach them something. That's more important to me than getting in there with guys who are names per se. But I'd rather be in there with the younger guys and helping them and teaching them about the business and about getting in the ring and teaching them a lesson basically. But there's nobody specific. I'm too old for that. I know it's a boring answer, but
no, it's understandable. It's understandable. You've been around for a long time, so it's like at this point, at the point of your career, working with the young talent, that's encouraging to hear because, I guess veterans out there seem to get a bad rap that they don't want to work with the young guys. They want to be like, well, I'm here. I've been here this long time. I don't need to help anyone, but anyone could learn something, and, when a guy like you are willing to help out the younger guys and girls, that just shows that you and Brainbuster Pro Wrestling, the men and the women in that lot going on in it together to make it work, to make it the best wrestling product that you can see, not just in Florida, but dare I say the whole world. That's good to hear, sure. So for a guy that has done this, what would your advice be to the younger generation that would like to get into wrestling, that would like to learn of this sport? What would your advice be for anyone who wants to get into wrestling?
Go to a credible wrestling school. That's first off. If you don't go to a credible wrestling school or somebody teaches you who's credible in the business, it doesn't count in my opinion. But go to a credible wrestling school. Then from there, learn as much as you can. You never stop learning. Even now I learn all the time too. So, just never stop learning. Get out there as much as you can. Travel the roads. Hit as many places as you can. Biggest thing is networking, meeting people, getting to know people. It's a very political game. You got to know how to play the politics, and by that, you got to get out there, meet people, greet people, drive places, wrestle, sleep in your car, whatever you got to do just to get your face out there. But it's just you got to get out there and you got to do it. But go to a credible wrestling school. That's number one.
All right, the name of the show is called Valentine Vicious. It's coming to you, Valentine Violence, February 13th, Brainbuster Pro Wrestling in Hollywood, Florida. For more info, you can check them out on Facebook under the name Brainbuster Pro Wrestling. And this man, AJ, he's got a match going up against Johnny Vandal. So check that out. AJ, it was great chatting with you to kick off the show. Thank you for your time. Continued success to you and Brainbuster Pro Wrestling. Thank you for your time, man.
Hey, real quick, can I say one thing?
Yes.
Let me just, if you guys want to follow, if anybody's listening wants to follow me, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's AJ Slambino. That's AJSLAMBINO. AJ Slambino. You can follow me on all social media. And, from there you can check out Brainbuster Pro, and then also Premier Wrestling Federation, which is Steve Carino's promotion in North Carolina. I'm the heavyweight champ for them. So give Premier Wrestling Federation a check out too as well. And hopefully Brainbuster Pro and Premier Wrestling Federation can do some stuff together here in the near future. So give it a check. Check it out. And I appreciate you letting me get a few minutes here to talk about it. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. You have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. That was my first guest of the evening, AJ out of Brainbuster Pro Wrestling. Very cool guy, man. Very cool guy.